Hi, everybody. We're back. It's been a long time since we've been in the void with this particular crew. I've missed them very much, but sickness and timing and only playing once every 2 weeks, kind of things get bumbled around and things like that. So I'm glad that we're able to finally get together on a Sunday night again to continue their trek into the void themselves to see what's going to happen. There's a lot of cool things that can happen in this particular group, depending on how they handle the next couple of sessions. We'll see what happens. But for right now, let's go say hi to the people. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
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 So, how are you all been?
Pretty good.
Good.
Better
Surviving.
now that we're playing.
Better now that we're playing, yeah. So we'll see what happens. So when we last left you guys, Tarek basically up and up just committed a homicide.
Yep.
Just flat out.
Like a boss.
And he didn't even stop. He's just okay. And like, whoa. It shocked us. It shocked me. I know it shocked Katra very much so. At least it shocked Kim very much. I wasn't prepared for you to do that. But it did get you some garner, some information, some reputation with Darga, and stuff like that. And when we last left, we just literally left off with that particular situation. So we're going to check in with everybody. We're not going to come back to you, Tarek, for a second. We're actually going to start with Uvnik and move around and then come to you. So Uvnik, you just saw this ally of yours who you kind of know, but it's not like 100%, best friends, buddies, forever kind of thing. Up and up murder this Elwyn.
Yeah, Uvink's was perusing the food at the time, so when he just saw that go on, it kind of reminded him of some bad situations back home on the frontier, his little tribe, and first thing he does is reach for a unoccupied cup and just downs it, and then continues perusing.
All right, moving over to. So you have no reaction to that other than just the fact that that was uncomfortable and I just take a drink of whatever's around me?
Yeah, Uvink's just very much a, whoa, okay.
That was weird. Uncomfortable. All right, we're moving over to, we're going to go to Yasha because I want Katra's emotional reaction to this later. So Yasha.
So Yasha sees this all happen and everything, and right in the middle when he's taking a drink of the wine that he had in his cup, he kind of like almost chokes on it, but he manages to swallow it back down. And then he kind of looks down at this food and stuff, and he's like this, just like looking like a beast, because he's like this. He's almost the smallest of the group, so he wants to make it look like he's intimidating somehow. Like guys, and then
So he kind of growls at the whole situation.
yeah, because he does not want to look like he's weak in front of these guys, and
Yeah,
So
that's the man.
yeah, very much.
I almost want you to call for a convince check on that one. So yeah, let's do a convince check on that and see if you're actually that convincing.
He's next. Oh no.
Gonna call you out on your BS there, Yasha.
All right, I got 2.
Yeah, you're
Success.
pretty convincing. It's not a deep growl, but it's definitely a
What is he doing? Is he purring? No.
right. And then finally, we're going to come to Katja before we move over to Tarek. And as this is as all this is kind of happening at the moment, Darga's eyes are quickly watching all of you individually, like moving from one face to another face to see your reactions. Katja.
So, Katra has a glimpse of like surprise and then immediately corrects himself down to a scowl, just like, and crosses his arms and just kind of nods a bit. But he's got so many questions going through his head, and literally is, if he didn't realize he was being watched, he would be staring daggers at Tyreek right now.
Okay. And then finally I guess there's no real reaction other than how do you handle the few moments right after the fact that you drew your dagger, knife across this young Elwyn's pristine porcelain soft
So Tyreek goes up and he performs this deed, and as he pulls the knife across, he lets the body fall to the floor, and as you kind of mentioned last session, we get kind of a vote of confidence and a bit of praise from that, and so Tyreek just waits a moment and lets those words come and let essentially, like, it's us coming into the fold and we've now been accepted, and Tyreek just kind of bows acceptingly, standing stoically, pretending like he's done this a million times, right? Like, this is just what we do. And so he wipes his blade off, he puts it away, kind of bows a little bit, and then kind of just waits there for further instruction.
Okay. So as the body kind of falls to the ground, you kind of end up wiping your blade off. Darga looks at all of you, kind of gauges your reactions, and then he bellows into a boisterous laugh. That's the way we take care of action around here. And then his eyes suddenly shift to all the people behind him and behind you guys that are kind of like his gallery of guests. And he eyes all of them like, that's how you do it. That's the way we take care of business. Very well done, Tarek. Very well done. And everybody else kind of just does this golf clap, like they don't know how to really respond. Some of them start jeering, like, yeah, and they're laughing, and they're just, did you see how easy that was? And they kind of, some of them are very aghast by the fact that it just happened so easily and so quickly. Some are like cheering. These are like the true degenerates of his gallery, right? They're like, yeah, I wish you would have pulled the knife a little slower, in those kind of things. So it gets a little weird and stuff like that. And then Darga calls and says, remove him. And a couple of the Oku guards come out and they grab the poor body of Warwick, and they move off. And a couple other individuals who don't look like guards, and they don't look like they're a part of the entourage. They kind of look like not really well kept or taken care of house. I don't want to say slaves, but I want to say like housekeepers. And stuff like that. They come out there with a bucket and some stuff, and they start scraping up the blood and cleaning up really, really quickly. And and once they're done like that, some of the guards kind of kick them out of the way, and they kind of scramble out of the way. And Darga then, pounds again on his throne and goes, "Time to eat again." And suddenly the band kind of kicks up, playing some upbeat music and things like that. And again, a bunch of food come hot, steamy food of various types comes rolling out. There's various creatures that you've never seen before, that they split open, and it's hot and stuff like that, and people start just grabbing it and they're eating it. There's various fruits and some other stuff. There's definitely some more alcohol and stuff like that. And Darga kind of looks at you, Tarek, and goes, "That was well done, well performed. I wish some of my commanders," and he kind of looks over at what you consider his commanders, and he just steely eyes them for a second, "had the gall and the gumption that you just proved there. Well done." And he kind of, with two of his arms, just slaps you on the back kind of hard, and you're like, "Oh, well done, well done."
Thank you. Surprised to say that about some of your commanders. I assumed with a ship as tight as yours that you wouldn't have an issue keeping these others in line.
Well, it's not a matter of keeping them in line. I've executed a half dozen of them. It's a matter of them actually doing what you just did without me commanding them to do so. They don't take any initiative.
Then why are they even here? Maybe I should take one of their positions as commander.
Well, that might be something we can talk about. And he kind of looks over at this one commander it's human. He just looks at, and they look at each other. And the human's eyes just get kind of big, and he kind of tries to move, like move into the shadows of the crowd next to him, as he just kind of like, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. Because maybe that's something we can talk about in the next few coming days.
Yes, we should weed out all of the weakness.
So with the festivities still kind of going on, what do you guys do over the next couple of hours? Yasha.
Yasha's just gonna kind of sit there and drink and keep like eating, but kind of like slowly, scanning the area a little bit more and everything. With what's been done and what's been said, and kind of like try not to make him like too much of a small target, I guess, when you kind of put Yasha out there. But he's definitely gonna be on, kind of like on his wits, where he's prepared for anything.
Okay, but what are you doing over the next couple of hours? Because there's the festivities, and it's getting close to like the end of the night, end of the day, and rolling into the night. What are you doing besides making sure that you're not caught off guard?
He's just gonna just kind of just party on with everyone, kind of like go into the crowd of everyone that's there and stuff, and kind of try to get some information. Like, does this happen like a lot, where he's just kind of like just kill this person, or because he doesn't want to be next.
Fair enough.
He wants to be in good graces.
Some of the conversation that you're listening to and you're involved with kind of says that Darga doesn't like traitors, especially ones that bring people that Darga doesn't know or is invited to his region. Obviously, that's the reason why poor Warwick was separated from the organization. And they just kind of whisper about who's going to be next, and what about they talk about like one or two specific commanders and things like that. But then they kind of move off and kind of leave you kind of like almost by yourself as the groups move around. Katja.
Muted.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Katra is going, just kind of grabbing drinks and just kind of try to get a buzz to get that image out of his head, and is trying to just kind of keep a bit of a distance, but keep Tyreek in his sights, because he wants a damn talk with Tyreek. Like, what the fuck? And just kind of glancing every now and then over at him, and just tries to play a couple jokes with some of the other degenerates and just stuff like that.
So you awkwardly try to blend in with people that basically insult your way of thinking.
Yep.
Sounds like a good time.
Great time.
Great time. You inherently laugh at jokes that that are inappropriate, because you're like, that was just so wrong, I don't know what else to do, so I'm just gonna laugh, because that's just, oh god, that's just horrible. And then drink real quick, and then move off to another group. All right.
Yep.
Uvnik. There are, just to let you know, there are a large number of Rakas guards here. And they all are kind of giving you the side glance, side eye, like, what are you doing with that kind of thing? But they're not going to say anything to you, right? They're giving you that side eye. And as you kind of approach one of them, they just kind of, and they kind of move off to a side, trying to avoid you as much as possible.
Seeing all these Rakas guards, Uvink's a little nervous himself. He's gonna squish his bandana down a little farther on his head. I'm thinking thinking Uvank's drinking plenty, and he's just trying to pull off some meager tricks like flipping bottles and stuff.
Trying to make yourself look less suspicious or more suspicious?
Less suspicious in the idea that he's just drunk.
So are you trying to like flip, like juggle these bottles?
Yeah.
All right. And do you have acrobatics as a skill?
Acrobatics. I do not.
Let's go ahead and have you make an agility check, TS of 5. If you were successful, for every success beyond 5 you get, you're juggling at least an additional bottle beyond the first 3 that you're doing. Up to a maximum of, let's say, 8 bottles. If you fail,
Looks like I have 4 bottles then.
okay, very good. If you fail, they come shattering down around your feet, and everybody stops, points, and laughs. But you're juggling these things very well. What do you plan to do for the next couple of hours?
I think I will try to talk to like just some random individuals, see what they know. Like how tight of a ship does Darga run? Like maybe try to make it seem like small talk.
You get the feeling that Darga is a new and upcoming crime boss for this region of this particular Solachis. He's attempting to assert power that he may or may not actually have. And some of his commanders are there mostly because they're either afraid of him or he's threatening something about them, or that he's got some sort of blackmail about them. Other than that, it's just common talk, right? About Darga and and this visitor that's supposed to be coming and all this other stuff and things like that. Katra, what are you doing for the next couple of hours after that? Are you waiting for a time to catch Tarek alone?
Yep.
Is that right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So the night continues to go on. You kind of see Yasha kind of awkwardly making his way, trying to get into groups, and the groups kind of like moving away from him, like
Oh.
and then you see Uvnik over there trying his best to not be a buffoon, but acting the buffoon for all intents and purposes. At some point, someone attempts to, you can kind of see a group's kind of, behind him, kind of laughing and stuff like that. And one of them kind of pushes Uvnik to try to catch it. And he just keeps going with the bottles like, okay, I got it. What you haven't seen lately is Nakan. Nakan seems to have disappeared into the crowds and hasn't been seen since the moment you did the deed. Tarek did the deed. It's getting a little bit later into the night, and Darg kind of gets up from his post, and he and his advisor kind of begin to make their way into another. They leave the main central area, and they kind of make their way into another room that's off to the side, and goes down a hallway and into another room like that. And as soon as they get up and they move, these 4 Rakash guards, kind of, who are dressed fairly well, armor-wise, kind of take a position, 2 on each side of the corridor and stuff like that, and he disappears back behind there. A couple, as it continues to get later, more of the guests begin to fade off, and they go off into their different rooms. What all you can assume is an assistant or perhaps a lowly individual kind of comes up to you guys and kind of says, Darga has told me to make sure you get to your rooms correctly. Follow me.
All right.
And this individual is it's about the size of about the size of Nakan. It's definitely amphibian in shape. It kind of walks with a flip-flop of its feet that are very loose. It's flip-flopping. And they take you down this one hallway, down another hallway, and you end up with these 5 rooms that are right next to each other. Of course, Nakan doesn't seem to be there, but there's these 5 rooms there. And he goes, "These are your rooms to stay for the next few days until the visitor arrives. Yes. Please try to remain in your rooms through the night. Those who, how do you say, disobey Darga will be treated unkindly." He bows and kind of turns and flip-flops off.
Real. As he cries in cat.
Right?
Flop, 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 real. Flop, 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 real.
So you guys have this room. There are no guards that have been set. It's just assumed that you will not attempt to do anything, or like that. At least that's the assumption. But there's no guards. So what do you guys want to do?
Retire to my room. I just pick the closest room and go. Real.
I say this might be a great time to talk to Tariq and see what the heck.
Second this.
Yeah, Katra's already like peeking out the door and making sure no guards and already.
No.
Okay.
No, I won't.
Time out.
Yeah. Poor baby.
So what's Katra doing?
Trying to get to Tyreek's room.
I mean,
Making
you were given the opportunity to choose whatever room you want. So I mean, if you want to be right next to Tarek's room, you totally can.
Right next.
Yeah, as Tarek, as you go into your rooms, Katra kind of gives you this side glance, like, "We're going to talk in a minute." Yuvnik, what are you doing? You just going into the room and hanging out?
Yeah, I'm gonna bustle in behind Katra. Maybe a couple bottles in hand that I made off with, because I always have to have one.
At least
So-
one.
You're going to go into the same room with Katra?
No.
So Katra goes into their room first, just so as the guy leaves, so they all kind of look. Everybody goes into their rooms. I assume, right?
Oh,
Is that your?
okay.
Is that yours? Is that what you were thinking, Katra?
Going, like, make it look like we're going into our rooms.
Until he
And then-
leaves.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as soon as you see him kind of turn the corner, you turn and go right into Tarek's room.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Uvnik, you can do that as well. And Yasha, are you just gonna hang out in your room and not do anything? Just stare at the wall and twiddle your thumbs?
No, I'm actually gonna be the let's see. I'm actually gonna be kind of like the person that would stand kind of like in the door a little bit, but kind of keep
Oh,
Like
just
a
keep,
lookout?
keep an eye on. So you all are going into Tarek's room. You're gonna kind of keep the door kind of slightly open and ajar so you can. Hey, shh.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, very good. All right, well, I'm gonna let you guys go for it.
All right.
So I got the door.
Tyreek's just sitting on his floor in meditation with his eyes closed.
Oh. Okay. Katra, trying not hard to stomp and just grab him and yank him up, looms over Tyreek and just like, in a kind of like a hiss whisper, like, "What was that?"
What was what?
Don't play dumb. You're smarter than that.
You actually kind of like read.
Keeping us alive. Is that what you're talking about?
We may be alive, but we could have talked about this, or at least I didn't think you would just jump to killing a person just out of nowhere. You just sacrificed a life.
It's not the first time, and I doubt it'll be the last. But if you had taken stock of the situation we were in, we were completely surrounded. There was no way of fighting that way out.
Could have
What
just
did you
kicked,
expect to do?
maybe just rough him up a bit. He still had his life. Maybe that. Death, life.
Yeah, he did kind of help us, get us in here, and he kind of just took his life just like that. I just want to make sure, if it comes to me, I'm not going down this so easy.
Look, I'm not saying that what I did was right. I'm not saying that what I did was just. I'm not saying that what I did was moral. What I'm saying is what I did kept the 5 of us alive. We were given an order to kill that man, and I did not hesitate to do so. And I will regret it every day for the rest of my life. But if it came between that man, who I did not know, who was clearly a traitor, or all of your lives, I chose all of your lives. I hope you remember that.
Okay, I'm sold. I like it.
Uving's gonna
That
clear his
wasn't-
throat and just kind of sigh heavily into the bottle he has. It just wasn't a great decision. Perhaps a prayer next time.
If you expect me to be grateful, I have no gratitude right now. There could have been another way to possibly do this. Hold on, I had a line. Fuck. My temper's getting a hold of me. Hold on. Schmidt. Okay.
Center.
Ugh, there is no center.
Uving's gonna pass the bottle up to Katra and just, it was the best that he could do in this situation. Not killing him could have put us in a world of hurt. And ignoring that, they would have been suspicious of us the entire time.
It wasn't his choice to make. And just downs it.
That
Uving's
man's
gonna
life,
weakly like, oh wait.
that man's life wasn't any of our choices to take. We were given a choice to either take it or not take it. I could have said no, stood back, put us all in jeopardy, made us look suspicious, and potentially have compromised the mission. But again, even if I had chosen that outcome over the one that I decided to take in the moment, we were more at risk of being outright killed by those 50 some odd men out there. Do you really think we could have taken them on?
So what does it say about us that we just blindly follow one person's
Nothing.
orders?
That's the beauty of it. It says nothing about any of you. It puts all of it on me. I take responsibility for the man's death. I look obedient, which makes us all look obedient, which takes suspicion off of all of us. You are guilt-free.
You don't get to tell me that. I will give you... What is the word for it? I will only give you praise that I understand our situation was dire. And you had to make a choice. This still wasn't right. There could have been another way. But what's done is done.
What's done is done.
Katra, I'm gonna give you plus 10 philosophy points. Good. I believe you are good, right?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to make sure. I think your philosophy is good. 10 points towards good, or if you're already good, it increases your good.
Okay.
Because you are a divine caster as well, right?
I
Right.
don't think so.
Aren't you? Don't you have divine knowledge? I thought you did. If not, no worries. Still pushing you
No.
towards good because that was a well fought argument. Tarek already got his points towards evil philosophy on that, and things like that. So, what happens after that? After you guys discuss this, what happens then?
I
Well,
think
go ahead. Nope.
think Uvank will offer a small prayer for who? I forgot his name.
Warwick?
Yeah, Warwick.
Or
Just something kind of more or less just may you go with your gods. And he's pretty tired, especially after witnessing that. And he's just gonna wave goodnight, head to one of the other rooms.
Good night.
Sorry, I drank the rest of your stuff, Uvi.
He's gonna shake his hand and the couple other bottles he has between his fingers. Just all good.
all good, I got it. Just gonna go pass out now. Yasha?
Yeah, Josh would go to his room and call it at night just in case something happens tomorrow, like getting up early or something, and having to go maybe kill someone, like take over on the killing some different person.
I love
Get-
the fact
get
that
tilted.
I love the fact that you and Nakan can't do it because he's not here. You are not taking this opportunity to sneak around the plush palace to gain more information, but that's okay. It may work for your favor, it may not. We shall see. Katra,
I don't want a chance.
you don't want a chance
God died or something.
that I died. No one knows what happened to me. Just Yasha's gone. What happened? We don't know.
Nikon's gone. Yasha's gone.
Yasha's gone.
Darga's got a nice
Naka's
new
gone.
pelt.
Yasha's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Darg is wearing this nice like grayish pelt the next morning. All right, Katra, what are you doing? You leave? Are you leaving? I
Yeah,
take it?
I'm leaving out of Tarek's room. Is there? I have a question about our rooms. Do they have like bathrooms? Do they have like a shower, or do you have to go off
Well, so
site?
each of your rooms are very lavish. And they have a large, what looks like a large bed in the middle. You have a bathroom suite, right? With whatever water they have running in there, and things like that. There's a couple chairs in there. Perhaps one of the rooms has a sofa and things like that. But it's fairly set up. I mean, what Tarek did may or may not have resulted in daughter going, these might be somebody I want to keep around, and I'm going to give them the better of the rooms. And so they end up doing that. But yeah, you've got your own bathroom suite for all intents and purposes.
Damn. Okay. All right. Well, Katra was wanting to find out more and maybe find a reason to walk around the palace and everything, but is going to think maybe it is best to lay low right now. So he's gonna go back to his room, go brood.
Very good. All right. All right, so you guys go. The night passes relatively easy. There's nothing massive about it. Nothing extraordinarily happens. The next morning, you are all awakened. So the next morning, you have two choices. You're either awakened by a soft knock on your doors, and this individual that escorted you there is there, or you could be up early before that happens.
Kotra's gonna be up early.
Yeah, Tarek will be up early.
Okay. So you're still greeted by a soft knock on your doors. Let's say like towards not early morning like pre-dawn, but definitely a little bit later. And he's standing there in these robes that he was wearing the night before, and he waits patiently for you. Ooh, thank you, Mr. Lord Baron. Hello.
Aha!
Ha!
The Baron of Lords.
No! 15 months, 15 points of heroic left per player. What? Are you trying to break the game?
Yes.
Whatever.
Do it.
That just means that they have to fight demons.
That's fine.
You come down here. You come down here, Lord Baron. We'll fight. So do you? And when you get out there, there's the entourage and the guests and everything have all kind of started to begin to assemble and stuff like that. Darga is not present at the moment. There is a large, again, another large table of foodstuffs that are a mix of leftovers from the night before and a mix of new stuff as they come around. Go for initiative. I have the ability before everyone.
Oh shit.
And you guys are, and stuff like that. After about an hour, there's spiced wines there. There's warm spiced wines. There's leftover ale if you like that kind of drink. There's various types of milks. One it's kind of like a milkish kind of to it, but it's a purple color instead of a white or creamy color. It's got a much sweeter taste. There's all kinds of different food products and stuff like that. After about an hour of you guys kind of eating and getting back to everybody and stuff like that, Darga comes out and sits down, and some of these underlings kind of make their way to Darga, and they've got plates of food and stuff like that, and he like shuffles them off. He doesn't like that one. He doesn't like that one. He's kind of like, ugh, whatever that. If you've ever seen that scene in Valerian and the world of the planet of 10,000 worlds. Yeah, that king guy is kind of like, oh no, yeah, no, kind of like they try and they're like, yeah, try that, that's good. He's like, ugh, that's disgusting and stuff. That's funny. I did lower the heroic the cost down there though, Mr. Lord Baron. So you can give them heroic luck instead of bitching at me about not lowering it. Just give them heroic luck. After a little while he comes out and stuff like that. And interestingly, after the breakfast kind of begins to settle down and stuff like that, these three individuals are escorted into the main gallery. They definitely, from what you can see, they're very upset about something, and they're really like waiting to, they've got that look like they're just waiting to just tear into Darga and stuff like that. There's a human, Kova, and a Bahul that are all kind of escorted into this, and they kind of look at each other. And there's also these 2 or 3 individuals. You've never seen this species before, but they got these large collars around them, and they're kind of like, they look down and depressed, and they look like they've been captive for a while, and they walk in, and it's very apparent as soon as that happens, the chamber falls absolutely silent, and it becomes apparent that Darga is not happy to see them. He kind of sits back and he gets into that long position of like, you know, stretches his out his 6 arms. 3 of them are over here, the other 2 are holding up his large body side over here, and the other one's like kind of like doing that rolling of fingers across the throne. When they walk in, it, like I said, the room falls silent. They kind of come to the middle of the room, and they're all kind of looking at everybody. The best term I'm gonna say is these slavers are kind of looking at everybody and just like waiting for them to all like kind of quietly calm down. And then finally, one of them begins with a very heavy accented common accent. Says, "These slaves you've been selling us are worthless, Darga. And they've been dying before we can even get them to market. They're used up, second rate, not even second rate. They're third rate slaves that you've been selling us. How dare you? I want my silver back for the last 4 shipments." Darga just stares at him for a second, and then he laughs, and says something to his associate next to him, and the associate kind of laughs, and then Darga breaks out in broken common and says, "See what great ungrateful business partners I have." And he kind of turns to you, Tarek. You're kind of over there with the you see this? You see what kind of ungrateful business partners I have? And then he just kind of turns to the slavers and basically just blasts them with tells them that you know, they've had the same business, you know, we've had the same business agreement for years now, and I'm not responsible sorry, if you don't know how to take care of your own product. If you do, and listen, and if you don't apologize and leave now, I'll have no choice but to dispose of you in not really good ways. We could use more meat in the markets. He seems, from what you're seeing, he seems really unconcerned that all of 3 of them seem to be very heavily armed. A couple of them are carrying energy rifles. One's carrying dual energy pistols, and things like that. How do you guys respond to that situation? We'll start with Tarek. I mean,
Okay, so immediately after he makes that first comment, and he kind of like, he looks directly at me and talks about his business partners, and then the conversation kind of goes on for a minute. Tyrick turns to the group and kind of moves in a little bit closer. Well, we have an opportunity here now. More than likely, something is going to happen. How do you want to handle it, Katra? If he calls on us to do something, we have a moment to talk about it now.
Hold. Okay. Hold on, my temper's rising again. You're fucking pissing me off.
You're
good,
welcome.
good.
You're welcome.
Get into
Okay.
character.
Oh, why don't we just do like last time and just start lopping heads off everybody? You know, why not? Why don't we just lop off the head of the leader here too? I mean, you
That's fine.
really want to make a name for ourselves and save ourselves? Let's go straight for the guy. Being absolutely sarcastic as he possibly can, Well, also in a hushed, like, seething whisper, the best he can.
In that
Tyrant's gonna-
low raised whisper. Right, no, get you. Like it's just on the point of almost being a full out conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like someone's pulled you to the corner, like, listen, you better stop this.
So, Tyrek's gonna slowly reach out, put a hand on Cotra's shoulder. Look, I know you're still upset from yesterday, but I'm being sincere. You wanted to talk about how we should proceed, so let's talk about it. We have a moment, but something's probably going to happen.
You're right, Matt. I'm trying not to let my temper get to me here.
I
You're right.
understand.
I disagree with any more killing. I realize we will have to do what we have to do. In the end, it is about our survival. If we do have to make a show, maybe let's try to deflect, maybe cause some kind of commotion, a distraction. Shh. Something else, just anything else.
Any ideas, Uvnik?
One. So Uvank's actually gonna step forward towards the slaves themselves and like reach out and like grab one by the chin like he's inspecting them.
You're gonna reach out to the property of another being and begin to inspect it without asking.
Yes.
Awesome. Before you do that, and while you guys are having this conversation, you guys kind of hear that the both the slavers and Darga descend into a seemingly fruitless argument about slaves and payment, with neither one of them budging or giving in to each other. He kind of looks at you, right? He kind of looks at your group, wanting to see what your reaction is going to be.
Uvank reaches out, grabs him, starts inspecting. Can I make like a roll to see what their condition is?
Do you have healing?
I do.
Go ahead and roll.
Hold on. Oh, that's an easy 5 successes.
They are definitely not well cared for or well kept. They seem frail comparatively. They're thinner than most and stuff like that. And the moment you go to grab this one slave, you step out, you grab the slave, the Bahul steps up and he takes his backhand and just goes to smack you in the face. Make a physical defense check against his agility check.
Physical defense.
And let me, I will tell you how much you must dodge by.
That is.
He's got 4 successes on his agility check to smack you in the face.
Alright. Well, I have 5 successes.
So you kind of slightly dodge out of it just as he slaps past your face. Keep your hands to yourself.
Uvank is going to just scoff at him. It's like, please, as if this was worth anything in the condition you're keeping it.
This is not the condition we're keeping him in. This is the condition that Darga is sending him to us. Now, and he takes one big step forward. Now, this guy, he's easily 8.5 feet tall. He's got horns that kind of curve up and kind of do that whole devilish kind of turn, right? Where they kind of turn down, where they're pointed forward. And he gets right in your face, both horns kind of on either side of your face. Back off.
Ulink's just gonna look him dead in the eyes and just, please, you think Darga is so incapable of a leader that he can't provide healthy slaves? This clearly has to be in your doing.
Katra's
Deaf,
gonna
blind, and dumb. I wouldn't believe you.
Katra's gonna speak up. Like, yeah, maybe you're the ones bringing in your slaves down and then trying to get a refund. Like, maybe you damaged your own property.
You're going to cheat Darga in such a blatant manner?
While they're doing this, Tyrick is like going around to like the other like groups and some of the other commanders and like trying to get not rile them up, but like getting them to like pitch in their presence. So like getting them all to move a little bit closer and like make the crowd bigger around
Closing the space between them and the slaves.
closing in the space to this business partner that's coming to threaten Darga to make the whole scene more intimidating to them, so they'll back off. So Tyrick's like, hey, this is Darga. We need to back him up. He's the boss, and like in whispers, like getting everybody to like move in and like be standing as one with Darga, like around this other group.
Damn, that's cool.
All right. Do you have leadership?
I have character sheet. I don't have leadership.
But you do have convince, correct?
I don't have convince either.
All right.
I'm trying to think if there's something else I can use.
Well,
Let's see.
it's either convince or leadership, and since you don't have either, this is going to be a straight up wits check
Just
on your
roll.
part. It's going to be a TS of 5 on your wits.
Wits? Oh, I have
Wits.
pretty decent wits. Okay. Roll me low. 18.
You rolled
So
an
that's
18. Is that a
18 to
D20?
75.
That wasn't a D20 you rolled, was it?
No.
Oh,
It's,
okay, because it sounded like one
No.
big. It sounded like one thud. I was like, "That was that a D20?" So
No,
18. No, I got
it's
you.
a 10 and an 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
got you.
18.
So 18. How many successes is that for you on your?
So that's going to be 6 successes.
You kind of get people grumbling like, yeah, maybe he's right. And they kind of start moving in and stuff like that, and they kind of all start. They're not whispering, but they're kind of like maybe you're treating the slaves kind of bad. And you hear one dissenter like, but that's how he sells, and someone just automatically backhands this person, this one individual, right? Who was about to say what you think they said, and he just, oh yeah. Oh yeah, you guys need to treat this. Maybe you should keep the deal and keep the business going. And this all kind of starts happening this way. Darga kind of looks at the group of you as you're kind of moving around, and he kind of he's got that devilish grin, like, huh, well done. He then
Oh, I feel gross now. Ah.
Darga looks at you and goes, you can see this, that devilish slimy grin of a crime lord, like, I'm glad you've arrived. You're making my life much easier. Maybe we can put you to work, kind of concept. And he then says, perhaps maybe you should, let's talk about the slaves and their conditions. We'll talk privately. You can go with, what's his name here? Igran here, and he'll work out some arrangements for you. And they all kind of back off, and now that the group's gotten there, and you can hear the commanders kind of like grumbling at them, and they're also kind of not taunting them, but definitely putting their voice into it about it. They're like, yeah, oh, okay, that sounds like a reasonable deal. I hate trying to do deep voices, and I've got a cough. It just doesn't work. Right? They kind of wander off and stuff like that. Darga calls you, Katra, over, and you, Tarek, over, and you, Uvnik. That was really impressive. Have you done this before, I take it? Where you can influence people like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we do. That's why we're here.
Just a little slight suggestion.
Right.
Nothing more.
I want the three of you to make a perception check.
Okay.
At a TS of...
Oh, that's good.
Actually, no. I want you to make an alertness check.
Oh,
TS
Even better.
TS of 4. And let me know what you get.
Okay.
I got TS4. Oh,
7.
You got 7 successes, Uvnik?
Yeah.
Nice. And Katra?
I don't want to say.
Heroic luck! I gave you one!
Oh yes, I'm using a heroic luck. Ah, fucking damn it. Well, it's not the other one, so. Fuck, where's my alertness?
Top left of the skill tree.
What is my
Skill list. It's like 4th down. They're in alphabetical order.
Let me say, I really like that.
Oh, there it is. So I got. I don't know if it's possible negative, but I got 97 against a 54.
So that's a complete failure. You're not even aware of this because you're like so taken aback by the scumminess of the situation that just happened. You're not even paying attention. Tarek and Uvnik, as this group of individuals and their slaves are kind of moved off, they kind of wait and pass for this server girl to kind of walk by with drinks that they're bringing to you, and you notice one of the slaves appears to be more than what she does, and she drops a powdery substance into one of the goblets that seems to be more like his goblet than anything else, as they are taken from the room.
Whose goblet?
Darg's goblet. It's the one that he's often used. It's not really a goblet. It's like a big heavy a mug. It's made out of silver.
Where did the serving girl walk off to? Did she go into another room, you said?
No, so the serving girl is passing kind of next to and in front of the slavers as they're being escorted from the room. At that time, one of the slaves, you notice, kind of serpentariously kind of gets close enough to where, the girl's like looking around, and she kind of quickly, as soon as her eyes are converted, she dumps a powder into what looks like Darga's tankard or goblet as they bring it.
Okay, as the serving girl is walking up with the tray of drinks, I'm gonna how do I want to do this? I'm gonna attempt to move around Katra and pretend like I tripped over her foot and fall into the serving girl and cause her to spill the tray, and try to catch myself on Katra, but let myself fall so that all the drinks spill.
Okay. Just make an agility check. Don't fail.
No, Joe, we're not safe anymore.
Joe's not safe. Joe, what are you doing?
I'm really sorry. So Joe is having technical problems over
Yeah.
here.
That happens.
Yeah. No worries.
Is there? Can we take a quick break here in 5 or something?
Yeah, as
So I
soon as
can
we
help
figure
him.
this out.
Yeah.
So I got a 26 to my 90 agility, so that's
Yeah, you
6
easily
successes.
do it. You kind of do it in such a way that it's kind of like you turn, your hands kind of come out because you're turning,
Yeah.
right? And you hit the drinks, and the Dargo's like, "What are you doing?" And all the drinks just come crashing to the floor, and they all mix on the floor, into this pile of stuff. And we will be right back. We will
Yes,
take
we
a
will.
5-minute break.
I am the nightmare.
Nightmare,
Aaron the
nightmare.
Nightmare. So we're back, everybody. Thank you so much for being patient while we figured out Joe's computer technical issues. Women power to the rescue.
That's right.
Joe, we need to talk. So you go to knock these drinks over, and Darg is very upset with you. He almost comes up out of his chair, his massive bulk, his 12-foot bulk coming almost out of the chair. He's like, "Why did you do that? Those were great drinks."
I apologize for my clumsiness. I'm still a little bit hungover from last night. I will pay for the drinks.
I'll help with that. My foot was right in the way. I know better than standing too close.
So so let me get this straight. By no other mention, you're not going to mention anything to Darga about what you saw occur?
Nope.
Interesting. He's, the 9 depths. Bring more drinks. And the girl's like, yes. She picks up the glasses and the mugs and rushes back. The slavers and them kind of make their way, and they all kind of look back at the commotion and stuff like that. He's like, well, that was unfortunate. Those are good drinks. I don't know. That's just unfortunate. You should be more careful, Tarek.
You're right, I should.
You're a Tajahu. You should be more agile than that. That's very frustrating.
Normally I am, but I
Yes.
overindulged last night, and I will take care to not do it again in the future.
Well, make sure you do. With all that nasty business, let's have some games. And everybody starts cheering. The entourage and all the visitors and stuff. They start, yes, games, and the whole building starts to shake a little bit where you're at, and the floor that you guys are kind of standing on begins to pull apart, and everybody kind of steps off to the sides, and this ring appears underneath you, like this pit, right? And Darga's throne-like chair kind of sits on the edge where he can lean over and look down. He goes, "This will be some enjoyment. Yes, let's get it done." And you notice that there's blood and weapons and bones in this pit. We're gonna have gladiatorial fights. This is my favorite part. So you can see from where you're at, these 2 gladiators come in, and they've got their weapons are pretty impressive. They're large. They seem sharp, but also very well used, and they just go at it. They just clash in the middle of it. After a minute or so, one of them's heads just comes rolling off and goes, "Yeah!" And comes rolling off, and Darga just, "Yes, let's do more. Anybody want to take bets?"
Let's take bets.
And he kind of turns to you, Kacha, and goes, "You seem like you're capable of taking care of yourself. Would you like to partake?"
Yeah, my money's on the small one.
No. Actually,
No?
step into the ring.
Glances quickly to Tyrek and just
Nope.
looking.
I will volunteer.
I can't let you go alone.
Duel! A team! Yes! We haven't had one of those in a while. Yes! Get in! It's about a 15-foot drop down into the floor. If you guys want
All right.
to jump.
I'll
All right.
Look to Katra, nod, and jump in.
Patra, 2.
You guys kind of
Alright.
jump in and get down to the bottom. And your weapons, you don't really have your weapons, but they throw in these heavy wooded items and stuff like that. It goes, "Don't worry about it. I don't want you killed. just want to see how well you fight. These will be safety weapons. Who kind of laughs. What we're going to do now is we're going to use rules that are specifically made for this. They're called dueling rules. And since you guys have a choice to make as a team, you can either go for first blood, minor injury, major injury, or unconscious surrender, or ultimately death on both parts. Depending on what you guys do, that will set the total number of successes that you must gain in your pool to win the duel. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
And you will be using your weapon craft, whatever your highest one is.
Mm-hmm.
But the weapon you'll have is blunted and made out of a heavy wood. So yes, you could kill with it, yes, or you could just go to surrender. So which, these are the terms that you guys need to decide what do you want to do. Do you want to go what result do you want to go for?
Heavy wounded?
Heavy wounded.
So major
You have
injury.
to make it look good.
Major injury.
Major injury. Okay, so what'll happen is this: is as a team, you guys will be able to make two rolls, right? There are no critical hits in the same sense. If you roll a critical, you just gain +2 to your total pool, right? Both teams start off with 0 pools, and this is just how the rules work for this particular scenario. And so what we'll do is you guys get down there. These two behemoths of one's a Bahul, one's a Fincanor comes out, and they're like, and they look at the weapons and they just, and they kind of look up at Darga and they just you get the sense of like this look of like, really, we don't get to kill them. Well, maybe we can. So we will do this. I'm gonna let you guys go first on your. So you're gonna get an attacks, and then they get a defense, and the difference is who gets what pool, who gets the points towards their pool, right? So let's just get into it. So both so Tariq and Katra, go ahead and make a roll against your weapon craft, whichever is the highest.
All right. And just to clarify, whatever this weapon is, because I'm a martial artist, I'm actually gonna, for my first attack, I'm gonna take this blunted weapon and I'm actually gonna throw it at them because I'm gonna use my fists for the rest of the fight. So I'm gonna throw it as like a
shot,
like a slap to like a slap to the face. Like,
I don't need
you're not worth
this.
my time, kind of thing.
This.
I don't need this. Like,
All right, very good.
yeah.
All right,
I
so
think
go ahead.
definitely don't.
Go ahead. So Katra, how many successes did you get?
3.
3.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I got 5 successes.
All right, so they have the total of 8 successes against them. The first guy actually gets 6 successes right off the bat with his defense, and the other one gets 2 successes. So he gets 8 successes. They get, as a team, they get 8 successes. So nobody scores in this first draw. Now they're going to step forward and they're going to take big, heavy swings at you. First, together, the first one, he's got 5, and the other one has got 3. So they've got 8 successes as a team against you. Now you
Can
guys
we just roll against our defense, physical defense,
no, you roll against your
weapon skill.
your weapon skill.
Oh, okay, even
Yeah.
better.
I got
4.
8.
So 12 altogether. So you guys actually gain 4 successes to your total pool, and you need to get to 15. So someone needs to track how many successes you have. So right now you have 4. They have 0.
I'll do it.
Now you
I
guys
got a
get,
WordPad open.
and you guys get now you guys get to attack back.
All right.
Oh.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I got 5 that time.
7.
12. Wow. The first guy rolls. He's only got 2. The second guy attacks. He's only 4. So you guys actually gain
Get 6.
6 success. No, you had a total of 12. No, yeah.
Yeah.
You gained 6 successes to your
So
pool.
that's
So you're at
6
10.
more.
Right?
10.
You're at 10 now. They're still at 0, and you're just battering these guys, right? You're just slapping him around. You threw that first one at him. It kind of like hit him in the chest. And he's like looking down. He's like, what? And then suddenly you come in with a fist flying, a kick to the side and things like that. They're kind of going to try to win this one. They're pretty behind right now. That one's got 5 successes, and his partner adds 1 6. So 6 successes total between the two of them. These are some big oafs, right? They're kind of stumbling around, even though they're the size of Katra. Katra's moving so much faster and so much smoother.
8. I got 3 successes that time.
I got 8.
So that's 11 successes. They had 6 successes, so you gained 5 more successes.
That's 15.
That's 15 altogether. As you guys are kind of wandering, doing this back and forth, they kind of slip, and Katra, tell me how you make what's the major injury you give to your opponent?
So Katra has that little wood, which feels like a wood stick basically, and takes a major to the freaking kidney right here, the ribs and kidney part, like
right.
aiming for it.
The kidney liver area.
Yes.
Yeah, as soon as you do that, he takes a step forward and he just crumples over in pain, just falls to the ground. And you get blood kind of comes out of his mouth as he hits the ground. Hitting the liver kidney area is a very major injury. Tarek, what's the major injury you bestow upon your opponent?
So, given how this fight's going, they're pretty clumsy, and I've thrown a couple of attacks, and I've, more or less dodged or blocked all of theirs. And to end this quickly, knowing that they're a little bit bigger, I'm just going to kind of leap into the air, punch him in the throat, and then with my momentum, I'm going to spin around and kick him in the side of the head and knock him over.
Oh, brilliant. He goes flying up against the wall some 12 feet away from him as he stumbles to there. You hear this sickening thud as his head hits, and he just kind of slumps to the ground. Darga's up there going, well done! Yes! That's how you're supposed to fight! And he kind of, you get the idea that he's using you guys now to like pick holes at the people around him. Like, you guys are, these are the people I need my community and stuff like that. Well done, well done. Now, while that was happening, Yasha and Uvnik, did you guys take any opportunity to bet? Do you have gambling?
So yeah, Yasha is totally down gambling. No, I don't.
It's a no for me as well.
I love you too, bye.
Nice to hear you.
You're being really loud.
I heard.
How dare you?
How dare you be so loud? I'm sorry, love.
It was nice to hear her voice again through your stream.
Oh, that's
Yes.
awesome. I'm glad you guys got to
Yes.
hear that.
Yeah.
So are you guys betting or not? Yasha, Uvnik, are you betting?
But I don't have gambling. But Yasha is
You can
gonna
still
fight.
make gambling. You can still make you don't have to have the
It-
skill. It's just 30 plus
It's
your
just that 30.
wits.
Yeah.
It's 30 plus your wits a modifier. Uvnik, what about you?
No, Uvink's not going to gamble, but he is going to like point and like explain, like, see now when see that hit that Katra put on that big fucker, he's gonna be pissing blood.
That's right.
He's
Yasha?
trying to excite the crowd
Yasha's,
more.
Yeah, Yasha's sitting there once they got into the pit there, and Yasha's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put 500 silver pieces on those two right there."
Which two?
No. Well, not the
Well, obviously you know who
Eric
lost.
and Katra. Yeah.
It's Katra. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your gambling. Let's go.
So that'll be just one.
So that's sufficient. You actually, so they bet again. There's some betting going back and stuff like that. You bet 500 silver. Did you have 500 silver to bet?
Yeah.
Okay. You put that in the pool and everything like that. It comes out that obviously Katra and Tarek actually, we probably should have done that reverse. But obviously Katra and Tarek win. and you suddenly find yourself in possession of 3 large silver bars as the bet is paid out. That's basically 1,500 silver
Dang.
pieces.
Yeah.
Well
that was
done.
made. And Dark's like, I go to great length to recruit the toughest gladiators that I can find. I only select the best for the games on Ratosh. I wonder. I sponsorship these gladiators. I'm wondering if maybe Katra wants to be sponsored in the next games. He's mumbling this. He hasn't quite asked you. You're still down in the pit, and you're kind of being, there's a ladder that you guys can climb up and stuff like that.
Do we hear that? Was he loud enough to be
He
heard?
was loud enough for you to hear that. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna. First of all, I want to do something cool. As we beat those guys, and Katra and I are walking back, we're gonna do the Goku Vegeta like fist bump, like
Nice.
Yes.
right. And then as I hear that, I'm gonna lean over to Katra and be like, "He's probably going to convince you to fight. You should tell him that our mission and service to the mission is more important than any gladiator duties you could take care of.
Well said.
His jobs and the things that he takes care of is more important than this little side gig.
All right.
Talk
then.
him out of it."
With that, Katra, you actually gain an additional +5 to your reputation.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Wait, doesn't Tarek too?
Tarek earns an additional +10 because Darga kind of likes him in that sense. So within the organization, his reputation is slowly going up, and everybody's kind of talking about how how they kind of like, that was incredible. He did that with his hands, and as you kind of walk up, the crowd kind of does that symbolic, they kind of like step away from you, like don't get in front of him kind of thing, as you kind of make your way up to the top of that. And then finally, as you guys as you get to the top and you start making your way over there, Darga kind of pats Katra on the back with all 3 of his arms. Boom! That was well done. I sponsor gladiators at some of the Rakok games. Best weapons you can buy, best armor that money can buy. Give it some thought. You might make a pretty silver for yourself in the Rakok games.
As much as I'd be honored for that. My loyalty and our loyalty to the mission is much more important than
Wait,
gladiator fights.
did you just say mission out loud?
That's what Tarek told me to say.
You mentioned. I don't think Schmidt is even listening. Schmidt,
I'm listening.
you just said that's our our mission.
I mean, she can word it however she wants.
Okay.
Our-
He kind of looks at
our-
What do you mean mission?
Well, our goal to help make you greater and make people realize how amazing you are. There should
Convince
be
chat.
more followers.
Convince Chuck.
Shit. Fuck. Damn it.
Can I hop in that as well?
No, you're on the other side of the ring.
Ah,
It's fucking convinced. Hey, I have a question. If I don't have convince and it says plus your intelligence, strength, or charisma, can I use my strongest one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it says either. Use your
It's
best
any one
one.
of them.
Okay. Okay, so that's 1 success. 32 against 40.
Skepticism check on his part. Interesting you should say that to the betterment of me. Well, I shall have to keep an eye on you, Katra. I may have to convince you at another time to come join the gangs. But I do greatly respect your admiration for my up and coming what is it, crime mob? Does he say mob? Does he say my
My up and coming endeavors.
my entrepreneur businesses here? So Yeah,
Ah.
you both got one success.
Ooh.
A little spooky.
And stuff like that. The fighting continues throughout the day. You know, some arms are missing, limbs are missing, heads roll, and those kind of things.
Barrack.
Um,
I'm all for in a fight, like when we're fighting bad guys.
We are fighting bad guys. Technically.
We are doing the standby syndrome of watching freaking this barbarism, freaking lopping heads off of people and shit.
If that's the entertainment they want to partake on the planet, that's fine. But technically, a good portion of these guys are enterprised through this crime syndicate. So we got to beat up on some bad guys in the ring, and we get to see bad guys beat each other up. So
That did feel good.
yeah, it's not necessarily bad.
right? It's all depending on
Passive
your.
good.
It all depends on your perspective of. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah,
for
maybe a
Contra-
gladiator ring, but more than likely.
but for Contra being good, it's really just. This has got some ickiness to it.
Yeah, no,
so
it does.
the day goes out throughout the rest of the day like that. You know, you guys end up eating dinner again, and you're again escorted back to your rooms for the evening. Is there anything you guys want to do? Anything specific you'd like to do during the day? I mean, you have kind of free roam of the palace and things like that for all intents and purposes. There will be areas that you may or may not be able to get into.
I want to go speak to some of the, I hate to say it, some of the weaker looking staff that have been, you know, like kind of really beat into place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you go about doing that? Describe that to me. How do you make yourself a large troll disappear amongst the crowd to talk to some of the well-worn staff?
I imagine there's a staff area, possibly where we see them coming in and out of.
Yes.
Yeah, so Katra is just going to... Oh wait, I might have something. Hold on. Oh no, that's my other character sheet.
Oh no! That's alright, use what you got.
Yeah. Okay. Just gotta use what I have. Okay, there goes. Katra's going to just kind of look for an area, because I imagine there's all sorts of shapes and sizes, like maybe the bigger ones kind of, you know, just walk, pretend to grab some food near a bigger one, and then just kind of move on to the bigger one, kind of like checkers.
Okay.
And to where I'm at, like where staff would be coming in and out of.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a charisma check.
Okay.
Again, that's our luck attribute. That's the attribute that we check against luck for the most part. See if you're successful in your scheming attempt to get inside.
That's 3 successes. 25 against 53.
Yeah, sure. You kind of, you know, it takes you a few minutes, takes you about half hour, but you finally are able to find a way that kind of, with enough movement and everything like that, you kind of make your way in. You kind of step into the what you consider as the staff room, and it's actually the kitchen. This massive kitchen. You've got a number of cooks. I wouldn't even call them chefs. They're all kind of chained to the various tables that they're working at. The servers are kind of moving about, and now as you've gotten closer to them over the last 30 minutes, you notice that they all have these collars on them, right? And they're free moving, but at the back of it is a small little box, very similar to the box that sits on the back of your helmet, Katra, for your void suit.
Oh, crystal.
And it seems like they all have these, and now that you're realizing everybody that's not a guest has these on them, including many of the guards.
Man. So, making way back there, hope Contra is just
Yep.
gonna kind of wander in and just like he was kind of meant to be back there. Just I wonder, is there like maybe a coat that he can slip on really quick?
Yeah, sure. There's like a server's cloak, sure, that you
Okay,
kind of
just
slip on.
slips it on and proceeds to go back. I imagine where maybe the stock area is, and what about that little waiter girl that
Yeah, you see her.
Tyrick?
You see her come by a couple times.
Okay, so Contra just pretends to kind of be preparing food, like moving stuff over into baskets.
Not knowing
for-
really what they're doing. They're doing. They're just like, hey, this goes here. Some of them are kind
Yeah.
of looking at you like, what are you doing? That doesn't go there. And one takes it out, puts it in a different, and things like that. All right.
and goes, "Hey, you!" to the girl, and just kind of keeps staring at what he's doing, glancing whether or not she notices or if she's
Well, she
somewhat.
kind of looks up at you and she stares at you for a second, and then her eyes get real big, like.
No,
She goes. She's about to say, "What are you?"
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put that in there. I know, I'm still learning. Here, just show
And
me how you.
She kind of comes in. Says, what are you doing back here? But it's very broken, and it's very, her speech is very prolonged and is difficult to understand, even though she's talking like, "What are you doing back here?"
Can I roll it? Would it be an investigation whether she can be trusted or not? Or
That would be a skepticism check. Yeah, absolutely.
skepticism. Okay.
Yeah. You tell me what you want to do.
Want to find out if she's I don't know, maybe can be trusted enough to ask some very concerning questions that would be
Give me a skepticism check and tell me how many successes you got.
35 against 33. Fuck. Hero
Yeah, she
luck.
seems perfectly trustable.
Okay.
Make
Did
a
I write
perception. Do me a favor. Make a perception check.
Okay. Ooh, that's way better. That is 5 successes.
While you're kind of talking to her and kind of looking down and trying to whisper to her, you notice that you're not sure that you caught the glimpse right, but half her tongue is missing.
Did they do that to you?
She kind of glances at you and she kind of like winces a little bit, like she's saying yes. Yeah, George, everybody.
All these people in here also?
Most. He keeps loose lips think shit.
Is just fuming, but trying to maintain composure. I'm so sorry that's happened to you. Nobody deserves that treatment, none of you.
He kind of shrugs your shoulders, goes, nothing we can do about it. And then suddenly you hear this cracking whip. You two over there! Get to work!
Yes, sir!
She kind of does that, and as you kind of you look up, and as soon as you look down, she's gone.
Contra, after talking to the girl and spent too much time back here, is going to go around the corner, take off the coat, kind of just swing it, and waits till the person who said get back to work gets out of sight and then proceeds to walk back out.
Sure. You guys notice that Katra's been missing for almost an hour. Yasha, what are you doing during this time?
Yasha just he was about to go to his room, but he's all, you know what? I want to, just kind of see what's behind a couple doors and see what's all going on. But before he does go look at the doors, he kind of grabs like an empty cup, like, because if he gets cut, he's gonna act like he's drunk trying to find a can.
So you're gonna kind of convince people you're drunkenly stumbling through corridors.
Yeah, and if someone asks, I'm just gonna say, I'm just trying to find a bathroom.
Okay. What are you looking for exactly? Are you looking? What? Give me an idea of what you're looking for. What kind of? What is it in the? Yeah. What is it you're looking for? Give us a narrative of that.
I'm just kind of looking for like if oh geez, I decided. Oh, how for like what kind of equipment or kind of like weapons or just kind of like anything secretive like that. He's got to try to rely back onto the group and stuff. And
You make your way down a couple of the hallways, and at the end of one or two of them, there's some guards there kind of looking at you, like, and you kind of get to the point where like, okay, I don't want to mess with them. You kind of just stumble back and turn and go back the other direction. You're getting the feeling that the overall place is well equipped. I mean, the guards that are there are well equipped. They're dressed in plate armor. Some of them have got energy blasters. Some have got energy rifles, and they all carry various swords and things like that with them. And it seems like he's well protected.
well, never mind about that. I'll just go this other way here. And since he doesn't find like really nothing else besides no guards are all equipped, he'll just kind of make his way back to the room and just kind of sit and kind of wait for like since Katra's out, kind of wait for Katra to come back and just kind of sit and wait for now.
Okay. Tarek,
Yeah.
what are you doing during this hour time that Katra seems to have disappeared?
So, I'm assuming pretty much everyone is kind of out and about, right?
Yeah.
All of the commanders, all of the other people. I think what Tarek wants to do is kind of like take stock of the room and like take a glimpse and see how many commanders there are, and like try to figure out like maybe at a glance maybe what like the pecking order would be, and then kind of from like least liked or like weakest to like the more prominent ones, and kind of like go from each group and just kind of like get a feel for each group, like, hey,
Do you have the information gathering skill?
Yep, I have information gathering.
Go ahead and make that roll for me.
Okay, so against 68, that's going to be a 9.
Wow. So that's 6 successes.
That's 6 successes.
Wow, that's really good. So basically what you do is you find that the one commander that seems to be more in control and most of them look up to is actually a manic. He's missing part of his left ear. You can see what looks like some sort of biomechanical eye in place on his left eye as well, and there's this massive scar that turns down, and he seems to be the one who's kind of like at the highest pecking order, like people get out of his way. But he also seems to be very well aligned with Dodig, though Dodig is not very, you get the feeling from listening, Dodig is not very pleased with this Mannix at all. And his name is Commander Grayton.
Okay.
And doesn't seem very pleased. And then it kind of goes downhill. There's a couple that are some humans that are along the pecking order. There's about 12 commanders all together that he's picked. And the weakest one actually happens to be one of the biggest ones. It is a Fencanor. While he is a Fencanor by his description, he appears to be more of the runt of the family, if that makes any sense. He's a little thinner than most Fencanor. He's tall, he's lanky, and he seems very timid and unsure of himself as you kind of make your way through this. And it's got various personalities all the way through. You can definitely tell that some of them are really wanting to push Darga to become more of into the slave trade and drug trade, because they personally have contacts that they could use and gain wealth off that. But the Mannix himself really wants to push weapons and illegal weapons as much as possible. What else are you looking for?
So what I want to do is, as I kind of speak to each group, when I finally get to Grayton, as I said, going from lowest to highest, kind of weakest to strongest, get to Grayton, kind of his group, and kind of strike up a conversation about how I'm guessing Fincanor is the one that slinked off at the beginning, or was that someone else? It was the one that okay. So, and I want to kind of bring that up to him, like, it looks like there's a lot of weaklings in the group, and you seem to have the most prominent group here. You should make it a point to try to absorb some of these groups from these weaker commanders and make your stance more prominent in the syndicate.
He kind of looks at you for a second, and he goes, and why should I adhere to your advice? You just newly arrived, and no one knows who you are. We are having you checked out, by the way. And he kind of turns his shoulder to you, and he's got this air of like, how dare you speak to me?
As an outsider, I come with fresh eyes, and I'm only here to help further the Syndicate's goals. And you absorbing these weaklings and getting them kicked out will only make this group stronger, better.
You seem to
It'll
have
put you in a better position in Darga's eyes.
You seem to have a very unusual canter about yourself, about wanting to please Darga and things with Darga. Why seem out? I personally am having a hard time to articulating the way I want to say this.
Yeah, no worries.
He kind of comes across with the idea of what is your end game for trying to get here? I mean, you're new, you know nothing of the organization. What is your end game? And why I mean, come on. Yes, Darga seems to favor you a little bit, but he's favored all of us at one time. Some of us have had to resort to extreme measures to keep him in favor.
I'm not here to seek his favor. As long as I keep his favor, I can continue with this syndicate, this organization. I came to this one specifically because it's on the rise. I sought potential. This group has potential. But you have to cut the weak, cull the weak in order to grow, to become bigger. And I'm looking to ride that to the top, along with Darga and the rest of the syndicate. I'm no fool. I've been around the system for a long time. And I know an opportunity when I see one.
Oh, and how would you take my response to that? Are you trying to replace me as well? And he kind of starts to reach for his side blaster.
What do you mean? I'm giving you
well,
the
you
opportunity to be stronger.
You want to rise up and become stronger in the organization. That also means challenging me at some point. Are you challenging me?
No, not at all. I'm here to ride the coattails.
Mm-hmm. But it's not my place to quote unquote call the weak. That's Darga's doing. That's Darga's desire.
Really?
He has.
It seems to me like he favors people that take initiative.
Oh, he does. But he also has his scapegoat.
As every good leader does.
And
you're clearly not one of them.
Well, clearly not, obviously. as he kind of turns to the other ones and he's like, some are even worse, are made to be scapegoats. And he kind of focuses on that Fenkanor for a minute. Anyways, I think that perhaps maybe you should, your concerns, maybe you should take them up with Darga. But trust me, do not betray me or you will find yourself without a head.
Just some friendly advice is all. And he kind of turns and walks away.
And as you turn and walk away, he goes, no advice is ever friendly. Not here. Uvnik, what are you doing? I love the fact that you're trying to seed the scent, Smet.
You don't know what I'm doing.
I have an idea of where you're going with this, but I like the fact that you're causing issues, which is causing me to think faster than I was ready for. But Uvnik, what are you doing? What are you doing, Uvi?
Well, Uvink's gone and enjoyed the food and drink to probably a little more than some of the others. So, using that as his basis, I'm actually going to wander off and look of where the slave who dumped that powder into the drinks might have gone off to, or was led to.
So they are actually, so the slave that actually did that, the slavers and those slaves are no longer in the compound. At least, even though they've been invited to stay, you can't seem to find them.
All right. Damn, that was like my whole idea there.
Well, no, it's because, and I understand where you were going with that, but they were not meant to stay there. In fact, you may find them at some other point in precarious positions.
Okay.
Along the roads, in small, tiny cages. Crows pecking at them.
I don't like this. Uving is gonna wander around and think obviously I'm not worried about Katra because he's proven time and time again to absolutely beat ass. I will kind of waltz over to one of the guards, food in hand, and try to strike up a conversation, like how long you've been here, with like a leg of something still in my mouth, just.
Again, so being a Rakash yourself, and these guards being Rakash, you kind of come up there and you kind of start talking to him in Rakish, and he just kind of looks at you, goes, "Leave me alone, skunk."
Sheesh.
Uving's going to try and remain friendly, but that bites more than a little.
And he kind of steps off to the side away from you, like he's trying to not be associated with you.
It's my playlist.
Killed it.
What?
Going buck wild.
It is. This isn't. This isn't my playlist. Or it is.
Seeing as he's not getting anywhere with that particular guard, he's going.
So as just as a piece of background lore, Rakas are very fiercely bound by honor, right? And since you're an unknown entity within this as a Rakash, they don't know how to treat you, and you kind of trying to warm up to them really turns them cold, right? I mean, they've put you in, for all intents and purposes, in the friend zone when you want to be in the other zone, right?
Yeah. Really don't know what to do with myself.
Well, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to do anything. You can go back and hang out in your room, and we can finish the night and get into the next day.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that, seeing as no one wants to be my friend.
No one wants to be poor Uvnik's friend. Poor Uvnik. He's gonna go eat worms. Big ones, small ones, slimy ones, big fat ones.
Big fat juicy ones.
Little tiny skinny ones, I'm gonna go eat worms.
So you guys so Tarek, are you done for the night? Kind of wrapping that up?
Yeah, I mean, aside from that interaction, he kind of just hits all of the commanders' groups and just kind of feels them out a little bit.
You get
Just,
you get the actual feeling that the Fencanor is very much in trouble with everybody.
Okay.
And you get the feeling that he's not going to be around for much longer, and will probably end up, finding himself being the dead end of a scapegoat.
Mhm.
Past tense.
Huh?
Gonna be past 10.
Past
Past
tense.
tense. Yeah, he'll be past tense
Alrighty.
and stuff. Katra, anything else you want to do before the night ends?
Yep, Katra gonna seek out Tyrek before heading to his room and just let him know, like, really quickly as he walks by him, nodding, like, I have some info. And then just, lets him know, kind of, like, I'll stop by your room later.
Kind of just nods casually without really saying anything and just continues on. Maybe heads back to his room also.
Okay. You guys are escorted back to your rooms like you have been for the last couple of nights. And you kind of, I guess, do the exact same thing. You kind of head into your room. You kind of wait for the frogman basically to disappear around the corner.
Yep.
And stuff. And then you go into Tarek. Are you coming to Katra, or Katra, are you going to Tarek?
Really quickly, I'm gonna go to my room and kind of having a thought that he, kind of being in the moment the night before, didn't think about it, goes back to his room. I want to do like an inspection of my room and see if I can find any like hidden like transmitting devices like cameras or microphones to see if I'm being spied on.
Search check. TS of 5.
Search, stealth, spellcraft, search. There it is. Ooh, I have to roll low. Alright. 8 out of 52.
You take about 15 minutes and you start going through your room, and you find that there's this large, like, perfectly shaped round object. It's kind of like you know those stones that kind of like sit on water and they spin. It's very round. It's in your room, but it's sitting in such a way that it actually faces the doorway kind of bedroom area, right?
Okay.
Large, perfectly shaped, round. Stop it, Nick. I'm gonna fight you. I'll fight you.
Stop it, Nick!
Just fly up there one day and I'll fight you. And it seems to fit perfectly with the room in the motif of the room. But you now notice that it moves ever so slightly as you move.
Can I discern what it is?
It is. Do you have lore tech?
I don't have.
What kind of lores do you have?
I don't think so. I have Omniverse, Arcane, and History.
Go ahead and make a lore tech at a base of 30 plus your intelligence score. The intelligence modifier.
Intelligence modifier is +3. Yeah. I'm gonna take a hero luck on that roll.
Wait, what did you roll?
It was 80.
Oh, okay.
It was really bad.
Oh no.
Let's try that one more time. Oh, that's better. That's a 7. 7 out of 33.
So
So
three
that would be
successes.
2. Yeah.
3 successes, roughly. It is some sort of recording device. You're not really sure if it's actually working, even though it's moving. The only reason why I'm saying that is because no one has come to you and said anything yet.
Is it like attached to the wall? Is it like
No,
standalone?
it's a standalone object. This round stone object, and it sits on a base that's got a it's concave, and it just sits there and it spins when you move.
If I walk up to it, like, does it like react, or does it just sit there and like
It
watch
just
me?
sits
Like,
there.
can I pick it up, or is it actually attached?
So you can pick it up. It's heavy. It's a heavy, smooth, round shaped stone. It's very heavy in I mean, extraordinarily heavy for the size of the stone that it is. It's
So I'm
about
gonna-
it's about the size of a softball, and it maybe weighs 40 or 50 pounds.
I'm gonna attempt to chuck it at the nearest wall, like as hard as I can,
All right, strength check.
to try and break it. Just flat strength, huh?
Yep. Tell me what you get.
That's gonna be 19 to my 69.
So it was 5, 6 successes.
5 successes.
You throw it at the wall, and just as you get to pick it up, right? You go to pick it up, and you go to hurl it back like this. Your arm suddenly almost feels like it's being snapped out of place as it comes crashing down behind you, as though it's being pulled right back to where it was at. It slips out of your
Okay.
hands and lands right on the mold that it was in.
Realizing that it's not going anywhere, I want to try and punch it as hard as I can.
Martial arts check.
That's a better roll. That's 74. So it's going to be 48 out of 74, so 3 successes.
You punch this really as hard as you think as you can, and all you hear is this. I can't do it. My fingers. You hear a cracking of a knuckle as you slam into this round ball. It kind of tips over the edge, but kind of rolls back into a spot, and your knuckles are just cracked and sore. It's like as though you've punched
No.
solid steel.
Contra's
I mean,
mad.
technically I did.
Yeah. And you've hit things pretty hard before, but this thing, it barely moved, and I mean, yeah, it's like you punched a door, a steel door.
Okay, last thing I'm going to try. Can I locate a power source or any way that it's connected and disable it that way?
So it actually is a freestanding object on the stand. The stand itself, it doesn't look like it's connected to anything. It's sitting on a wooden like desk dresser kind of thing, right? Or like, I wouldn't say like a dresser, like modern day dresser. It's just like where you can store clothes and stuff like that, or items, and it's just sitting there.
Okay. I'm gonna quickly go back into the hall. Did everybody else go back to their rooms by this point?
Well, as you come out of your room, I believe Katra steps out of their room.
You can see Tarek holding his hand in a bit of discomfort.
get fighting somebody?
Uvnik and Yasha, make alertness checks.
David.
3.
You kind of hear Katra's and Tarek's voice out in the hallway beyond your doors.
All right. So yeah, I'm holding my hand and Katra's addressed me. I'm gonna take a quick look around the hall to see if I can spot a similar device as the one in my room. Now that I know what it looks like.
No, there isn't any.
So I'm gonna walk towards Katra and like try to stand like in the middle of the hall, but between doors, so that any sound I make doesn't like
Right, I got you.
travel directly into any room. It kind of spreads out and speak in a low voice.
Right. Yasha, Uvnik, are you going to act on what you can hear, or are you just gonna stay in your rooms?
I'm gonna
Not sure
poke
why.
my. Yeah, I'm gonna poke my head out there. Yeah, I'm gonna have my finger up my nose for a second.
Okay.
All right.
That's a little weird, but we'll go with it.
It's totally fine. That's normal.
It's normal.
That's totally normal.
It's okay.
I'm a grown Rakas. Sometimes a little something gets up there.
Yeah, a little something, something. So I'm gonna get ready to.
Kicking as you come out.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey guys.
Getting ready to address. And I notice Uvnik peek his head out the door, and I kind of like wave them into the hall and like shh.
Yes. Well, what's going on?
And so I kind of huddle around and keep a low voice.
You do you before you do that, do you also ensure that their doors are closed?
Well, yeah. I don't want sound. Yeah, I want to make sure the doors are closed. 100%. I'm being cautious at this point.
He's being unusually cautious, making sure even though like you walk out, you don't close your door all the way. Tarek kind of reaches around you and kind of gently shuts the door.
It looks around like maybe there's somebody that he saw in the hallway and looks to Tarek like, what's going on?
I think, and he tries to like whisper as quietly as possible and like get in real close. I think the rooms are bugged. They're being recorded. I'm fairly certain. There's a round spherical device that moved when I moved, set on a table in the room. I tried to disable it, but it seems incredibly impervious to attacks. I'm not entirely certain, but I'm pretty sure that it's a way for Darga or someone in his employ to spy on us in these rooms. Be careful how we speak in them from now on.
I didn't even think that we might be listened in on here. I was so focused on after the beheading of. Never mind.
Same, which is why I didn't spot it the day before. I just had a strange feeling about it when I went back to my room just now. My cautious side kind of kicking in finally. Just be careful. We're gonna have limited places to talk in private, and our rooms are not gonna be one of them, I think.
He's gonna take his finger out of his nose and be like, it's kind of reflective a little bit.
You.
I'm asking if the device was like kind of shiny or.
Oh God.
He's talking about his booger.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Uvnik's just like, did it look like whatever?
I mean, is that how you described it? I don't recall exactly. Was it reflective?
No, it's just very smooth.
It's a
So
round.
I guess if smooth translates to reflective, then yes.
It could be. It could have a
could
gloss
have
to it.
a glossy shine to it.
Louise go, oh. I've been wiping my boogers on the.
Interesting. I don't know that that's going to keep it from picking up on sound, though. So again,
Well, they got quite the view.
I'm sure it did. Just be wary of what sort of conversations you have in these rooms. I took a quick glance down the hall, and it seems safe, but I can't be certain.
Yeah, as long as our voices don't carry.
Go back to your rooms, act normal. We'll find a place to talk tomorrow morning.
Alright.
So you guys go back to your bed, and now that it's actually been pointed out, you all notice this round object. It's about the size of a softball, as I've described, sitting on a pedestal that allows it to move. And as soon as you open the door, it kind of turns to you, and it kind of tracks your motion.
Moving's gonna. Oops, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, mine's just a gag. No, I'm pouring.
That's what mine was too, but go. Just go.
Moving's gonna walk more or less right up to and just.
Oh.
He really works up this loogie before leaning over the top of it and just laying it just.
Okay.
Fucking gross.
If you like ASMR, here's one for you.
Yay! All right.
Ugh.
He's gonna wipe his face and just be like, it's gonna look like a dream sequence.
Ah.
Yeah. It's gonna look like a true sequence.
Ah. Gross.
Oh my
So the
gosh.
next I don't want to end it there, so we're going to end it on the next morning. So the next morning arrives. Again, you guys are awoken. You either wake up early or what have you. But in any case, there's a soft knock at each of your doors, and you guys are taken back. You guys are taken to the throne room, the main room, and stuff like that. And when you get there, you notice 3 guards are on their knees in front of Dodig. And behind each of the guards are these larger, more powerful Rakosh-looking individuals, and they each have these big, heavy handles. And he goes, and when you guys walk in, he goes, welcome. We have some traitors to deal with this morning. And he goes, apparently. And you can see the guards, they look kind of beat up and bruised, like they got into a fight in the middle of the night, and they're battered and beaten. They haven't been given any healing magic or any type of attention. One seems to have a broken arm. He goes, these guards here have failed in their attempts to keep my compound can't do it compound safe. Last night there were a couple of individuals, apparently, according to them, that were found wandering the halls. And we're going to punish them for their failure. He kind of sits back. He goes, when you're prepared. Each of these larger looking Rakosh, and they're not really Rakosh, Nick. You've seen creatures like this before, but they seem just to be bigger and more monstrous than you. They take these big old swords and things, and they just come up and all at one time, shunk, take the heads of these 3 guards off right there, and goes, let that be a lesson to the rest of you. You need to protect my compound. And those of you who are found out in your hall, you will be dealt with. And you kind of, the 4 of you kind of look around, you kind of take like a mental math of who was here last night and who's missing. There are 3 individuals that are missing right now. can't stand traitors. They're the ruins of great organizations.
You have the right of it.
After that happens, the bodies are removed, the heads are removed, and again, the servants themselves come out and they clear the area, they clean it up, and breakfast arrives. As you guys are feasting and starting to take in the next breakfast and eating what you have and what you want, 3 people are suddenly ushered into Darga's audience chamber. 2 men and a woman. They're all humans. They don't seem to be wearing any kind of standard garb in a sense, but you suddenly begin to hear whispers of Hazul syndicate agents amongst everything. Begins to ripple through his entourage and court and stuff like that. The 2 men are dressed in what would be considered basic laborer's clothing, and their eyes, you notice, tend to scan the room very cautiously and very purposefully, taking in everything as if they expect perhaps an attack to happen at any moment. The woman herself is simply dressed in a kind of like a bluish dress with brown boots, and her hair's pulled back into a bun. But it's clear that she considers herself to be above what's taking place. Let's go ahead and have all of you make perception checks. TS of 5.
Oh shit.
I got 5.
7.
I'm gonna use another heroic luck, and just to see, we'll do one more. One more. Yeah, that's a 1 success for me.
So, Uvnik, Yasha, and Katra, you notice that the 2 men seem to be identical, even down to the scars. You could almost mistake them for twins. They almost look like clones of each other, right? They're down to the scars. They're carrying the same blasters, same energy blasters. They're dressed very similar and everything like that. And the woman kind of looks down at them, or looks around at them, kind of steps forth and bows and says, "Oh, great Darga, great Darga." I can't do a woman's voice. I just can't do any, so I'll just not do voices.
Just fake it.
Speaks very, very almost eloquently, almost sing-songy in a sense, and she begins to say that she tells Darga that one of the Hazula agents is arriving soon and wishes to have audience with you. We are merely their advanced cohorts. And with that, we'll end tonight, and we'll be back hopefully in 2 weeks.
Yeah, hopefully.
And stuff like that. That's always the hopes, right?
That's right.
And
Yes.
we'll pick up there to find out what's gonna happen now that the mission is coming to fruition after a couple of days of hanging out here. I'm gonna go ahead and give each of you guys 1,500 merit points
All right.
for your overall. Katra and Tarek, I'm gonna give you each an additional 500 for your battle that you kind of went through with the dueling.
Heck yeah.
Total for that. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. So
Awesome.
I guess everybody say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. And we will be back in 2 weeks. And Nick, I'm coming for you one of these days. I'm coming for you.
Oh, Nick Bear.
Look out. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, stay legendary.
Stay
Stay
legendary.
legendary.